Paulo Coelho's novel, which he published in 1988, traces the journey of Santiago, a young and adventurous Andalousian shepherd who leaves his native Spanish countryside in search of treasure. But deep under the surface of this simple tale, we find an allegory of the journey we must all embark on if we are to uncover and fulfill our deepest desires. At the heart of this story is a recurring dream that troubles Santiago every time he sleeps under a sycamore tree that grows out of the ruins of a church. During the dream, a child tells him to seek treasure at the foot of the Egyptian pyramids. Santiago consults a gypsy woman to interpret the dream, and to his surprise she tells him to go to Egypt. A strange, magical old man named Melchizedek, who claims to be the king of Salem, echoes the gypsy's advice and tells Santiago that it is his personal legend to journey to the pyramids. Melchizedek convinces Santiago to sell his flock and set off to Tangier. When Santiago arrives in Tangier, a thief robs him, forcing him to find work with a local crystal merchant. The conservative and kindly merchant teaches Santiago several lessons, and Santiago encourages the merchant to take risks with his business. The risks pay off, and Santiago becomes a rich man in just a year. Santiago decides to cash in his earnings and continue pursuing his personal legend, to find treasure at the pyramids. He joins a caravan crossing the Sahara Desert toward Egypt and meets an Englishman who is studying to become an alchemist. He learns a lot from the Englishman during the journey about the secret of alchemy, the elixir of life and the stone that turns lead into gold, and decides to accompany him when he learned that he is in the quest of a 200-year-old powerful alchemist. On the way, the caravan stops at Al-Saharan oasis of Fayum, and there Santiago fell in love with Fatima, who lives at the oasis. The alchemist teaches Santiago about the importance of listening to his heart and pursuing his, and offers to accompany him in his quest. At every step, there are distractions, both positive, like love or wealth, and negative, like conflict or hardship, that threaten to sway Santiago from the pursuit of his dream. But he is resolute in the face of these diversions and ultimately arrives at the pyramids. He sees a scarab beetle scuttling along the sand and takes it for an omen, so he begins to dig. As he shovels sand, two young men see him and are convinced he is burying treasure. They attack him, trying to steal this treasure. Eventually, Santiago explains to them that he is digging here because of what he saw in his dreams. The men release him, but they are scornful. "He shouldn't be so foolish as to believe in dreams," says one. After all, he himself has had a recurring dream all his life, but has never been so stupid as to devote his life to pursuing it. The young man's dream: that if he were to ever visit Spain and find a crumbling church in the countryside, he should dig deep down where a sycamore tree grows. There, he will find untold treasure. In this sense, Santiago's dream takes him full circle. On his return home, he does find the treasure. And the gypsy's wisdom is proved correct. The location of the treasure couldn't have been simpler for Santiago to find. Yet, to unearth it, he first had to experience an extraordinary journey and meet the love of his life.